I'm going to start this right now. Get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 271 of Opinions May Vary. I'm your host, JR. My co-host, Alex.
Hello.
Joining us this week is filmmaker and what other adjectives would you say are fitting? I mean, all around very good guy. He fooled us all in Secret Hitler.
He did. Yeah.
It's our friend Jared. Jared Skolnick, of course.
I should specify Secret Hitler is a game.
Yes, for the record, is a board game made via the Kickstarter. And the first time we ever played it, Jared fooled us all, and fascism won.
By being Hitler. You know, no one suspects the Jewish guy. Sorry, Dad.
But Jared joins us once again for the first time in a long time.
Glad to be back.
Like too long time.
Yeah.
But we're making up for it, and we're also on. Hopefully people are listening to this. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully I was able to upload this. I'm on a new computer right now, so you'll notice. Hold on. Shh.
Oh yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah, you don't hear any laptop fans.
The fan trying to cool the monstrosity down.
Yeah,
It's working overtime.
My 7-year-old laptop that up until then had recorded 98% of every episode of this show.
If my records are correct, Jared's last appearance was episode 159.
That's an abomination.
It's been a while.
Over
120 episodes, almost 120 episodes.
Goodness gracious.
Ass is bodacious. But we are able to remedy that today. We're going to be talking about something interesting that piqued interest. And we're
normally we talk movie stuff.
Yeah.
And we're still going to do that.
Okay.
We're going to talk more comic book stuff. Because normally when we go comic books, we don't usually come up with that for each other.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a while since I've been to the comic store. Lately I haven't been buying comics in bulk. I think the last thing I bought was the first issue of the new Black Bolt series, which very good issue, I should add. But yeah, it's been a while. I'm always browsing, but I don't know, for some reason I just never I should grab one of those.
Speaking of, do you have a hot take on the image of the? Was that where you were going, or do you just not want to talk about it? We're already there.
You said the term hot take, and I was frowning at that.
Sorry, yeah, that's the new term, man. Just get with it.
Not,
is there one of those on the image of the Inhumans that they released a couple weeks ago? Did you see that?
Oh, for the ABC, I think, the TV show.
I thought it was for the movie.
I don't think they're making a movie.
They're not making a movie?
I think it's just
a TV show.
The movie's after 2020.
Okay,
but they released that initial image of all the Inhumans.
That's for a series.
Yeah,
that's for a television.
That makes a little more sense.
Yep.
Because initially I was like, oh god, if that's a movie.
Did you see that?
I did not.
Image?
You didn't see that image? Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I've seen cosplayers do better, for one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but they also have to make these things so that they look lived in, or they look, like they've been worn for a while. But they're also supposed to be royalty, so you don't have your clothes be worn down.
Right.
But they're also not supposed to look like silly spandex costumes, because that's one of the tough transitions to go from comic book to live action.
Yeah, you wanted to be somewhat intimidating.
Yeah, it's like that joke about Wolverine talking about yellow spandex.
Yeah,
they put
in the
instead.
original in the X-Men, the first X-Men movie.
Yeah,
they they break it all down right there.
Yeah,
they don't pull any punches on when it comes to spandex.
But Medusa's hair, just you could tell it's just a wig, because I think they didn't know how to get there yet, and you could tell who all the characters were. But there's some points where it's you could make Black Bolt be better.
Right. He'll spruce him up a little bit more.
He didn't really. He looked like they almost looked like a Game of Thrones cast in not as detailed costumes.
Okay. Now this is just like a publicity photo, not like a trailer.
Oh yeah, it's just a publicity, just them standing in a room kind of thing.
Oh wow, I'm looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs work. I could see a lot of that being Photoshop. Now, these are like actual costumes. They're not doing like a CG kind of pass like they did with like Black Panther. Or
No
anything
idea.
Like that.
For this, I think this is like the preliminary like examples, maybe.
Yeah.
So like I would imagine, like I hope they have plans to CG in Medusa's hair a bit.
Right.
Or, I mean, there's not really much to change for the Inhumans' outfits.
Yeah.
You know.
But I suppose it's still early in the production process. They'll probably like refine it a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, at
when it
this
gets
point,
closer.
I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt. Like, when it comes to just putting out good stuff. Although, is that tarnished a little bit by Iron Fist?
From what I read, that had an extremely like tight production schedule.
Right. I have not seen any of it. I've only seen reviews of it where everyone said that it was like terribly paced and
So Keanu Reeves trained for John Wick for like 5 months or something like that.
right.
And the Iron Fist actor guy had like 5 weeks
Right. Okay.
to be like, you're going to be a fighter. But there's a lot of things in Iron Fist.
You need
that
to
I
be
felt
able
were-
to resemble a master who has trained his entire life.
But this is not an Iron Fist episode.
It's not, because I haven't seen it yet.
It's not.
It's also just kind of not really worth it. You
No,
know?
I'm good with not talking about Iron
Yeah,
Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're just kind of talking like production
Yeah.
Right.
minutia, trivia.
But like, it's still, I would want to compare it more to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Because you know, Iron Fist was a Netflix show. It's
Mhm.
very grounded, very based in reality.
They can kind of do
Just
whatever
like
they want.
Jessica Jones was. It's like it's in a city. It's not like on a airplane fortress in the sky. It's in Harlem or something. You know, Luke Cage it's in a you could walk outside and maybe see it from where you live.
Yeah, it's got that street level
Yeah.
grit to it.
So
Hallway fights. Hallway fights.
alleyways. The street lamp's out, so it's shadowed here. Whereas like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very bright. Everything's lighted perfectly. They have all kinds of sets. Sometimes they don't really work out, but others like overall like they have a very wide scope for the show because it's a network channel.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Whereas with Inhumans being on the same kind of thing, I imagine eventually they'll have, but with networks comes oversight because they have to sell ad space.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyways.
Anyway.
So who knows?
I had pointed out, I
It-
think it was what?
Oh no, sorry.
I think it was Thursday. And I was like, "Yo, did you see what Jared said?" And Jared was like, "Yeah, I did. I think that's cool." And I was like,
And I'd actually meant to ask you about it too.
and I had said, "Let's talk about it." The other day, Jared had a post on Facebook. He said, "You can learn a lot about a person by asking how they'd make a Superman movie." Because we've talked a lot about Superman in past episodes, Man of Steel, Superman vs. Batman. We've said a lot about those things. There's a lot to disagree on. There's a lot of thought about Zack Snyder and what he's done with the character and like all the characters in general and what the DC universe is trying to do. So I was like, let's pick Jared's brain about this. What did you mean by like how much could you learn about a person?
So it happened when I was discussing a little bit on like how, just kind of thinking out loud with a friend, like how would you make this? Because we have our disagreements with how the DC universe is being done so far, and a lot of it's not so much like how Henry Cavill plays the character or like the costume or how they made Krypton, which actually like that was kind of my favorite part of Man of Steel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like the Frank Herbert kind of.
The flying beasts and
the dildo ships and everything like that.
I could do without everyone wearing the same armor though.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of play that up a little bit too much, trying to like justify the costume. Like no, it's tights. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to make it like armor or Kryptonian nobility.
You can
Why
give
not?
those back to Chronicles of Riddick, to be honest.
Yeah. That's close.
So we'll see Vin Diesel like with a giant S.
Possibly.
The S is for family.
Obviously.
But like the deeper we got into it, like we realized like when you're talking about Superman, you're not just talking about a character, you're kind of talking about like an outlook. Because the whole thing, like how he fits into like his superhero universe is like he's the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone else always has like one of his powers. Someone has heat vision. Someone has flight. Someone's super strong. But like his defining like characteristic is he's good.
He's the Boy Scout.
He's the Boy Scout. Yeah.
If you had like an image of the perfect Boy Scout who helps ladies across the street, and to obtain Eagle Scout, like they build their own series of park benches for the elderly, out of their own money. Like that's the kind of good-natured person who,
Yeah.
You don't think of an Eagle Scout as like, oh, it's kind of a scummy guy who like bends the rules. It's
right.
like
he's the guy who goes to a bar and orders milk.
That's what's the term? It's briefly, I'm not getting political, but like the president is supposed to be the best of us,
right?
And so Superman's like he's the best of us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the deeper you go into it, it does become political, and
even though he's a filthy Kryptonian,
right?
Damn,
can't have them in our country. Make Earth great again
on this planet.
and yeah,
go. I completely ruined your. You were on a good track.
No, it's all cool. But yeah, eventually it does become political because you're not just like saying like, well, he's the guy who helps old ladies across the street. Like if you're making not just like a Superman that exists in a cinematic universe, but like a self-contained Superman story where you have to get everything you love about the character into this 2-hour story. You're kind of, just by its very nature, imposing your own outlook on it.
Okay.
Like your idea of like what an absolute good is. And I think like if you ask someone about that, you can kind of get an idea of their not character, but yeah, like their basic ideas of like of good and evil.
Yeah.
Like what that really entails, because you're not saying it in a way that like reflects on you. You're kind of projecting it onto this avatar of sounds pretentious, but morality. And so it's like the Iron Giant, like he as soon as he reads a Superman comic book, like that's where he gets his idea of like what a hero is,
even though he was constructed for a completely different purpose. That's his inspiration.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now that you've gone in that direction, I feel like there's more respect for certain like writers of comic books who can take the character but then like disassociate themselves from the character they're writing, and being like, well, instead of like writing myself into the book or writing what I think into the book, like I have to think as this person, and I have to write the character without involving myself. It's like there's an element of like where you just have to try and tell a good story without including your own morality in it. Right. So like, I could see what you're saying of like, you'd want to tell a story that would, sometimes you want to make people feel what you're feeling. But, exactly. But other times it's like, well, my job is to make people like have some more escapism away from themselves into what this character represents. Yeah.
It's like asking like, what would Jesus do? It's like, well, God, in this situation, like, what would Superman? I know. It's like because you're divorcing yourself from the, I guess like whatever quandary it is you're thinking of. And it's like, well, Superman's a good guy. What would he do? Oh, okay. And so, and you apply that into your own kind of situation.
Because there's been like Justice League stories where aliens show up, or like if not aliens, then alternate Justice League like imitators of like, look, it's Superman, but like he's a different color tone, and it ends up being white Martians or whatever. But like they start doing all this stuff that the real Justice League never did. They're like, look, we planted a farm where it's a desert because we're going to fix things, and we're going to go into this country and stop them from being evil, and we're going to destroy their army because that's what we should have done by now. Yeah. And then it ends up being like, yeah, but you don't have the right to do that. Like, yeah, exactly. You don't, like, and part of Superman's thing of like, he's so powerful, he's almost godlike. He can help humanity, but he's not supposed to direct them.
Right, like he could depose a dictator in like 2 seconds
Yeah.
or solve world hunger, but like that at the same time that is, I guess, overstepping his limits.
Yeah.
Or his boundaries, like as another person.
Like the humans have to help themselves. For a
Yeah,
little bit.
like I'll catch him if they fall off a building, but
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna like, tell the mayor to put a guardrail on the roof. Wink.
Jared, you recently read Red Sun.
I was literally just comparing a lot of this in my mind. I've been trying to like recall Red Sun because
It's been a while for me.
yeah.
Because Red Sun is a story where Superman crashes in the USSR.
That's right.
In
Yeah.
Russia instead of in America, and like the way he's raised there, and like now he's serving Mother Russia instead of like a more like all natured, the American way.
Yeah.
And so it turns out to be like it's different. It's a different story, and he has different tactics, and I dig a lot about that character and what happens in that book.
Right.
I enjoy it because I know it always had. It was one of those Superman stories that had like the stigma, because like I've heard your interpretations of it, or rather your opinion of. You never spoiled it for me, but it was always it was known that you didn't like the ending.
I would forget about like the very last few pages.
Yeah,
but like I liked generally because Lex Luthor was so involved.
yeah. Lex. He was written great because I like when Lex is crazy. That's a very general way of putting it, but I like when we're not talking Lex crazy like Jesse Eisenberg.
Right.
That was just an abomination. But and don't get me wrong, I dig Jesse Eisenberg.
But he's not like sending out like jars of pee-pee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like his main, just the way he talked in that book, like everything was just like, yeah, I just need to devote my entire life to just destroying this person. It's fine. It is. This is what it is. Our relationship doesn't matter to me. I know you're cool with, I know you like me and blah, blah, blah. And like talking to like his wife, like his life is just weird. I really like the way Lex was written. Like when he's like that brilliant genius who can he's like, I can do anything. I can solve everything. Like I'm the best person in the world. The world needs me.
Yeah.
I dig when he's written, because sometimes it can just be a little bit like, okay, I get it, Lex.
Have you read Red Sun, Jared?
I read the first half of like 10 years ago.
Okay.
But
because like one thing I keep going back to all the time is a part in that where Superman's like talking to Brainiac, because he's like essentially captured and works with Brainiac.
yeah.
Instead of like always fighting him off from invasion, like Brainiac realized like, I shouldn't fight this Superman. I guess I'll just work with him. But at the same time, Superman's like, well, let's go invade America. And Brainiac's like, nah, how about you can't be in the same room as Luthor. He's so much of a genius above you. He will talk you into suicide within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And like Brainiac knows this because he's calculated it. And Superman's like, I'm Superman. And Brainiac's like, it's really not advised. To think like, in what we've been saying about Superman, I wonder if like, the way his story is written of him being raised in Russia and everything, like, would American Superman fall for that? Could Lex talk him into suicide in 3 minutes?
But would Lex want him to?
Yeah.
That's the question. Because like he's, well, depending on the interpretation, like he's kind of defining his whole life, not on like killing Superman, but being better than him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the question is like, would he want to have would killing Superman actually give him satisfaction, or would he want to just live with knowing that he can be better than him?
Some of the more recent Justice League books from New 52 and was it Villains United? No. What was it? Sure.
Forever Evil?
Forever Evil.
Yeah.
There's parts where Luthor just wants to prove that humans can be better than Superman.
Yeah.
Luthor's like, I'm a human and I can be better than him, and here's all the ways I'm going to do it. And like that's his goal. He doesn't like, if he kills him, great. But like he just needs to embarrass him.
He just wants to take him down a peg.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. I like that version of him best. I think.
Yeah.
It's just like something like so petty about that, like just wasting his life, just like trying to do something useless.
Do you remember when one of my ultimate like what the moments with Lex was, and you'll have to forgive me. I'm going totally off memory off of a comic book that I read a long time ago. It was when Jeff Johns was on Flash with Francis Manpaul. It was shortly after Blackest Night. Like, it was when I first got into comics. It was right after Flash Rebirth, I think. And like Lex was involved, and like Lex's sister, who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He like has the cure.
Yeah.
He like, hey, check this out. I'm gonna inject you with this. Look at that. You're walking again. You're great. Your whole life's great.
Yeah.
Injects her with something. She's back in the wheelchair. You don't get it though. Like, just that I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and it's things like that really no matter what story I read, like even in Forever Evil, when like he saves the day, and then for a little while after that he's in the Justice League, and he's like, no, really guys, you can trust me. I want to help.
Yeah.
You know, for the record, I did what Superman couldn't do. We all agree on that, and I want to help.
Yeah.
But like I always think back to that one page of just when with his own sister, and he was like, "No, nah, you don't get to have a full life."
The beginning of Forever Evil, when they're realizing, because like a bunch of the heroes were gone, they're missing, they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like it's rumored like Superman's dead, no one can find him. Something happened, he's gone, and like the Ultraman and like the Earth 2 or Earth 3? 2. Earth 2 is here. And so Ultraman and like evil Wonder Woman and everything, and evil Flash, Johnny Quick.
Yeah.
And so Lex is like, we have to make sure Superman's not here. He's like, call up LexCorp, send up our experimental spaceship. And so they launch the ship, and like Luthor's like on the top of his tower, LexCorp. And Miss Tessmacher's there, his secretary.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, do the thing. And like the spacecraft malfunctions while it's coming back into orbit. Because it was just an experiment. Just go up and come back down. It's experiment. And like it's coming back into orbit and like, you know, coming in for landing, and like it's malfunctioning. And Tessmacher's like, knows his deal. She's like, all right, well, it's offline. They can't get it back online. And like, you still have 2 minutes to get into your suit and go save him. And Luthor's like, I know. And like they're watching it come down. Like they're listening to the radio transmissions. And like everyone in the ship is panicking. And like someone she cared about was there too, I think.
Yeah.
And Luthor's like, I have to know that he's not here. We have to be sure that he's dead. And so Luthor's like waiting, and Tessmacher's like, well, you got 30 seconds to get in your suit and go save him, Luthor. Lex, you're almost there. And Luthor's like, he's not moving. And like the ship crashes, everyone dies. And like she's freaking out. She's like, why didn't you do anything? He's like, and Luthor's like ignoring her completely. He's like, it's true. Superman's dead. He wasn't here to save those people. And his secretary's flipping out. So he shoves her off the building.
Was that Jeff Johns?
I don't know.
Forever Evil?
I can't guarantee that. I'm not sure.
Googling.
But, yeah. That's like when people, because a thing that's gotten popular now is declaring the Joker and Harley relationship is terrible. It's malfunctioning isn't like the correct word, but people are like, oh, they're so cute, Harley and Joker, and it's like, no, they're an abusive relationship. It's not good.
Stop being happy with this.
It's Earth 3, by the way.
Thank you
for the terrible
Earth 2 is the JSA people,
crime syndicate.
Yeah, the crime syndicate. And so it's like Joker's like a hideous psychopath. Like there's nothing to think he's cool about.
Right.
Why do you think he's cool again?
Yeah.
Because when you work at a theme park and one of the things is like, what comic book character do you identify with? Or, you know, people put that down, like they get questions. And I'm like, okay, so Luthor though. And then I explain that and it's like, doesn't it make sense though?
Right.
This is what a different kind of psychopath would do.
Yeah.
But
two different things.
Yeah. But Superman.
But yeah, I kind of like the original Lex Luthor, who just hates Superman because like he made him bald. Like that inspired his whole vendetta.
That's canon.
Yeah.
So someone explained it to me. Superboy breaks into Lex Luthor's lab, and the shockwave from him breaking through the wall blows his hair off.
And that's where it all began.
That's why he's bald.
That's how it all starts. Yeah. And then he just like zeroes in. I have to kill this man now.
And a thing that that kind of surprised me for not that. That surprised me for a second. Where'd it go? Jared brought up GOG, and like I was just being stupid. And I was like, GOG, huh? Why not Magog though? Like doing like a Zoid. Why not Zoidberg?
Right.
Why not Magog?
Why not Magog? Already.
Nice. And like Jared schooled me. I was like, where the hell you learn so much about GOG and Magog?
I read Kingdom Come, so that's my point of reference for Magog. But GOG was actually I don't remember like where I read about it. I think I must have been like Wikipedia binging.
There was
at
Kingdom
some point.
Come, and then there was The Kingdom, and GOG showed up in The Kingdom.
Okay, I didn't read that actually.
Okay,
it must have been just like a Wikipedia binge.
and then
You
there
know
was
how those go,
Yep. I hear you.
fall down the bottomless pit of
Yes.
knowledge. Yeah.
especially with superhero comics.
Eventually, he showed up in JSA too, and was kind of different there as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, so your because like in Kingdom Come, like Magog is just a guy who, it's a story about like future generations of the superheroes, and like the old guard are like kind of retiring, and they do things a certain way. And the younger generation of superheroes are like, we're just gonna fight because we could fight, right?
yeah.
We got powers.
They're
Let's
much
use
more
them.
reckless and breaking shit everywhere.
And if you look at the design of Magog, he's just making fun of 90s characters.
Yeah,
He has pouches and weak ankles and giant shoulders.
So what do you think about on a quick tangent on Kingdom Come? Okay, also a mild spoiler on Kingdom Come. With when Magog kills Joker. You down with that or you not down with that? You love it or shove it in terms of Mike and Mike, which is going to be ending soon, by the way.
I would have to reread it. I don't remember that part.
Because like that's the reason why like
because like that was in flashback, wasn't it?
yeah, it like started the whole like holy shit.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Yeah.
these new people, they're not messing
That was
around.
one of the first things he did.
They did what all these people couldn't do after all those years. He just went up and killed Joker.
Yeah, but the Joker, like, he didn't just like kill a bunch of people. Like, he killed like the whole Daily Planet, including like Lois Lane. And so Magog just like went in and just like shot him.
Yeah, he like
With
gut
his-
blasted him like with his spear thingy.
Mm.
That's
you
the
could see like
official
Superman
term.
like swooping in trying to stop him. Like, no, dick.
Because like there's the whole argument. I've actually had this discussion with Colin a bunch of times. You know, like because Colin's a big fan of Red Hood. Because like Red Hood, it's the whole kill this one person and potentially save
Hundreds.
so many lives in the future, or do the justice. Let justice run its course and do it the right and lock him up. Everyone deserves a chance. Blah,
Don't
blah,
be
blah.
like him.
Yeah. Don't exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such.
You're better than him.
In my opinion, because I'm small-minded, it's such a hard argument to not just be like, yeah, you just kill him.
I think the third option would be build a better fucking prison. Don't just put him in a
Stop.
straitjacket and like
Instigating.
in like a public jail. Clearly, exceptions can be made. Like, look what they did for Magneto. Like, they've got like a brand new one every time.
Well, eventually, they just gave him his own country,
Yeah.
and then that didn't work out. So
No,
that went
never
bad.
does.
Anyways,
So we should give Joker his own country, is what you're saying?
should we
Well,
strand Joker?
considering we just gave one to a version of the Joker, yes. No, we don't want to do that because we're kind of living that reality right now.
Yeah.
Politics.
That smile.
What are we talking about? Oh, we did it again.
It takes up his whole face.
We got meta there.
Anyway.
Politics joke.
Dual
But
Do you?
Superman.
What were you gonna say, Jared?
But like well, what I was saying is like I would lean more GOG than Magog because like he's kind of just like a like writers kind of like venting about how like comics changed in the 90s. Like he's like Cable, he's like basically he's basically like a Liefeld.
Yeah.
A riff on him. And like they like that book is like so much religious imagery, and they literally make him the fucking golden calf.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh yeah. Hadn't thought of that.
but
I just keep going back. Like the thing that sticks out in my mind the most is Shazamming Superman so much.
yeah,
One of the best best moments
Yep.
of that book. Of a book full of so many good moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
With Billy being an adult now because he grew up and like he's still kind of childlike though.
Yeah. Kind of like Arrested Development sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
An episode of Archer
like
had
the
a-
actual Arrested Development, not the
Right,
show.
not the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Archer had made a joke about like put the puppy down, Lenny. You're petting it too hard. He would be like that.
Tell me about the rabbits, Billy.
So
What was I saying? Yes. I wouldn't want to use him as a character or like as a villain in like a standalone movie.
right.
Just because I don't want to like use that time, like that precious time, kind of like bitching about something else.
Right.
I just want to like make a Superman movie,
Uh huh.
like a Superman movie that would just be a great Superman movie, not like a commentary on something else.
You had mentioned giving Superman the opportunity to see alternate versions of himself because one of Gog's things was killing Supermans from the different Earths or different timelines.
Right. I don't know much about like Magog's or Jesus Christ,
Original Gog.
Gog's
Yeah.
personality. I know him like I like that concept of him like going through the multiverse and killing Superman.
There's an
It's
image
like-
of him on a throne and just dead Supermans just piled around him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that's a better villain that can work like cinematically.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't. I don't know how many times you can have him like throw down with someone who's evenly matched with him, like
Yeah.
physically,
Yeah.
like Zod or Terrence Stamp Zod or
Doomsday.
or Doomsday. Yeah,
Or whatever the big Kryptonian was that he fought in Man of Steel.
him too. Yeah,
And
Like-
because it was Fiora and the big dude versus Superman for a few scenes.
right.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I don't know if it can sustain like a whole movie
Right. Yeah.
or Nuclear Man. But and
It took me a second to get to him, and I was like, right, put him in the shadow. Yeah.
yeah,
He
But I
loses power when he's not in solar.
but I think that's like a credible threat, not just physically, but like in a way that kind of like gets to something that would concern Superman, like
Mhm.
emotionally, because in a way like he kind of represents consequence. He can represent like an unintended effect of something like he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're like that nearly omnipotent, like you have like that responsibility to do as much as you can for as many people as you can, and something will eventually like slip through the cracks,
Mm-hmm.
and like that would be something. So you're seeing alternate versions of Superman, which in a way means like alternate realities, alternate futures, alternate consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, like if I was Superman, like that would scare the shit out of me. It's like, what if I couldn't save that person, or what if
Right.
I didn't even like acknowledge
Yeah.
so
yeah.
and such and
Yeah.
such? Lost my train of thought. So yeah, like he would not. It's almost like a Wrath of Khan thing.
Okay.
It's like he like Kirk left Khan on the planet,
Right.
forgot about it,
Yeah.
Had a lot of adventures, but then like 20 years on, oh yeah, that guy, I should have checked on him.
It's
Oopsie.
just your chicken's coming home to roost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or potential chickens coming home to roost.
Right. Yeah.
Multiverse chickens.
Mole chickens.
Chickens in space. So I think that feels like a villain like we haven't really seen
Right.
on screen.
Yeah. I'm processing right now. So if not in that story, like have there been other versions that I might have seen on screen? I don't think so.
At least not like live action Superman. Maybe like I haven't seen like the entire Justice League cartoon or anything like that.
Right. No, that hasn't happened there yet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that has potential.
Yeah. Let's see. A couple other recommendations. Like there was some that like got kind of deep into it, and some that were really like just a simple opening step. Joe Sherry's been episodes, so just hire Brad Bird to write. Start with Brad Bird.
Remind me what Brad Bird's done. I've heard that name.
Brad Bird is the director of The Iron Giant, The Incredibles,
Right.
Ratatouille.
Yes.
He was
He did
a big,
Ratatouille?
yeah. He was a big like creative consultant in like the golden years of The Simpsons. He also did Tomorrowland. Oh, and the fourth Mission Impossible, the one with Tom Cruise on the Burj Khalifa.
Loved it.
Joe.
I'm a sucker for Mission Impossible movies. I will forever watch them.
It was a damn good movie.
Joe actually put it into steps. Step 2, stay away from origin. Wrestling trunks on the outside of the costume. Make him smile. Include a scene where he talks a girl out of suicide off a ledge.
All-star.
Hope, heart. Exact opposite of anything Snyder's done with Kyle. Step 3, include a small cameo in the background of Iron Giant. And then Joey and Allen agreed with that statement. Saying like that is what Superman needs.
It's a good interpretation.
There's more people talking about true symbol of hope and something humanity can strive for.
Like that's cool, and I get that.
Yeah.
True, but how do you convey that, especially in terms of a full-length feature film?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel the thing that I struggle with Superman is that, and again because I'm small-minded, it's the typical criticism of Superman in the fact that he's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like he, and this is actually I do have like a surprising amount of like. I've read a lot of Superman. I don't have a lot of Superman individual floppies. I don't read Superman like stories month to month, but I do have a good amount of like like I have All Star, Red Sun. I have the Superman Earth one, volumes 1 and 2. I can't remember if there's a third one out. But I've read my fair share of Superman books, and I mostly enjoy them. But like I feel like, I know what Superman stands for. I know what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But like. I feel like it's very difficult to be like, okay, here's a movie about Superman being
reading about
stand-up
him
guy,
and then being like, now you tell a story about this guy.
I could not come up with a Superman. It's just like, especially after what, because I never saw Man of Steel.
It's okay.
I heard all about it in the episode that we had done years and years ago, and I saw Batman versus Superman or Batman Superman blah blah blah, and I saw the one with Brandon Routh. But I've actually never seen the originals either. I've never seen the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the original Reeve is probably the best one.
That's from what I understand, because like all the ones that I have seen, like when I first saw Batman Superman, I think I really wanted to like it. I was like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that great. Especially like when you go and watch like Civil War and stuff like that, or anything else Marvel's doing.
That's a good bridge, actually, because I think like, I agree. The character has like a lot of danger of becoming boring because he is so square. But
Right.
I think like, not to like compare it to Marvel, but like they kind of like Captain America has the same problem. He's just like a cool square guy.
Yeah.
But I think he has like a very like uncomplicated outlook on life, and clear sense of right or wrong, so and so. I think you can make that really interesting if you throw him in a complicated situation.
Okay, well, in Winter Soldier,
Right?
the whole thing of like, so Cap would not be on a Black Ops team.
Yeah.
Cap he's on the front lines fighting Hydra, whereas like we're gonna stop this person before they commit a crime, and Cap's like, "Why?" He would be like, "No, we won't."
Yeah, that's not how it works.
This is a Minority Report.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like,
Which
well,
I've seen.
Have you not seen Minority Report?
has Cap.
How do we know?
But with the algorithm and I can't think of the computer guy's name.
Zola?
Zola.
Yes.
Arnim Zola and everything. And being like, no, he found out who's going to be a problem and we'll eliminate him before they're a problem.
Right.
And Cap's like, that's not liberty.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
But
that's a problem, what you're doing.
And like you're saying, like this very straightforward outlook. But if you could have stopped Red Skull before he got to a cosmic cube, maybe that would have been a good idea.
Or had Professor X's brain. Remember that?
Yeah. Don't know where that went.
Yeah, They could have done so much with that. I remember, was that Uncanny X-Men?
There was a crossover series of that. Of
So
like
I don't even-
there was an Access, the Access crossover 8 comic event, and then it ended, and it was like, finish this up in Avengers, and I never
got
did.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, he's very straightforward, but like he'll still break the rules to like protect his friends.
Yeah.
So like the law is good, but friendship is more important than law.
But things are flexible. Life is complicated, even if you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can do the same thing with Superman too.
Okay.
Just make him. You don't have to make him like the eat your vegetables sort of guy. He's like, no, smoking is bad.
But that's one of the best things I liked about Ralph's Superman.
Right.
He's like, flying is still the safest way to travel.
Yeah. I mean, like, you don't have
and
to
he's
like.
smiling the whole time. It's
Yeah.
such a good smile.
I should clarify. Like, I think you can make you should make him that person, but it's okay to have like Jimmy Olsen kind of like roll his eyes at it or something like that, or like Lois Lane, God damn it, Clark, something like that. Yeah, because I mean it's worked so well for Captain America too. Like because he has like a Tony Stark to play off of.
Right.
Right.
Tony
yeah.
will do just whatever he wants. And it ends up kind of working out for him most of the time, like 80% of the time.
There's like that innocence that comes with Cap.
Yeah.
At least that back in the, apparently this runs on electricity.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like
fondue.
It
I know that reference.
exactly.
Yeah.
That shit will always work for me. They can just play on that one thing, and it'll forever work for me because he's from an old time and he's in a new time. Yep.
The possibilities are endless.
Again, small mind. You'll win me over very easily with that.
Can I tell you my idea
Yes, please.
for a Superman movie?
Yes.
So Alex has been decided he is going to be the next director of a Superman flick. Now, is this outside of the current universe that they're setting up right now? So this is...
Oh, yeah, it's different universe.
This is 10 years down the road. They're going to reboot.
This reboot.
Alex-
not in the current DC.
Yeah.
Alex has been tasked with creating a Superman movie. Here's the pitch.
I want to make it a two-parter.
Okay.
Just because 3 gets too long sometimes.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give like some events of what's happening and then try to explain it later.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give you the whole script because I don't have one. But I'm
I don't want anyone to steal it.
I'm gonna try not to make it too lengthy.
Didn't stop him for Batman v Superman. You can cut that out.
It's gonna start with news of Joker having killed a whole bunch of people.
Okay.
Joker's killed a bunch of people, but he got caught. Batman caught him. But Luthor is gonna make a big press conference about it. And he's going to send a bunch of LexCorp battle suits and like his armed men to Gotham to protect Gotham, keep it safe. And like in this speech, it's Luthor's very like huge broadcast, like press announcement, and like his news of the just Joker incident has been all over the place.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about how Batman, being the arch nemesis, has always hesitated, and he's never dealt with the Joker the way he could have, and he's given up on so many opportunities that Batman basically let this happen by hesitating for stopping the Joker for good. He's implying that Batman should have killed the Joker by now.
Yeah.
But he's not going to come out and say. He's not going to advocate murder.
He's dog whistling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, but he's just like, he's trying to do the really smart guy thing where he's just like saying key phrases.
Right.
And like keywords to earwig you into thinking about things. So Superman's going to catch on to that. He's going to hear that press announcement.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, great, more LexCorp battle suits around. We're going to cut to Clark. He's at the Daily Planet. Lois and Jimmy are like on the street, like getting lunch or whatever. And there's like a blonde guy walking down the street, and this blonde dude, they're going to make eyes with him. They're going to flip out. And Jimmy's going to hit his Superman watch.
Yeah.
Because like it's going to be like classic like animated series like Lois and Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's the way Jimmy's supposed to be.
Got the bow tie and
The bow tie, the
Yeah.
ginger kid with the camera and everything.
Right.
But a nicer camera now. Than
not the CIA agent
yeah.
gets shot in the head.
Yeah. And like he has like an internship at Daily Planet or whatever. But he's going to use his signal watch to summon Superman. Superman's going to fly, and be like, oh no, Lois and Jimmy are in trouble, and get over there and see this guy in front of him and recognize John Corbin, who's the human form of Metallo.
Yeah.
And he's going to immediately be like, oh shit, Metallo, and just launch right into a fight. Just like punch him into a building and like grab a piece of metal from somewhere and try to like weld his chest shut with this piece of metal. Except it doesn't really work out that well because John Corbin's a human being.
Right.
It's not Metallo. John Corbin is a human right now.
Just a big fleshy lump.
He's a person.
Yeah.
And like with this like immediate attack, Superman just killed the guy. But Superman doesn't kill. The classic Superman, he doesn't murder. He doesn't kill.
Right.
Him and Batman have like the same staunch stance on killing. He's not going to do it.
Yep.
But how come Metallo doesn't have a metal endoskeleton? And he's going to be really confused.
Okay.
And it's going to be 100% human. And that's where like everyone's going to be afraid of Superman now. And Lex gets to grandstand and he's going to make another speech about he has to keep it different from his Batman Joker speech.
Right.
Because he can't now say like, oh, we can't believe he murdered a guy when he was just advocating that Batman should have murdered Joker. Yeah. So he has to play a different spin on it. And he's going to have to, he's more of like how he's the alien threat and Superman has to do more to obey our laws, which means more obeying our laws, which means like more oversight. Maybe he works for the military. We have to do more experiments on him. Does this X-ray vision cause cancer? Do we know that?
How do we?
We have to. Yeah. And like this is more things of why there should be a crackdown on what Superman is, turning the people against him, turning the government against him.
Yeah.
So now like there's
undermining the trust.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like fighting a Doomsday or a Zod, it's one threat. You punch the one thing. But like when the trust of a nation changes, like that's a different thing. You can't really fight. You can't punch that.
Well, you can.
You can't punch that.
You probably could.
Just won't work out very well.
And so, like, Luthor would be advocating for, like, more experiments. And, like, we've been let this man running loose, and we don't know what he's capable of. And you've been okay with it, you simpletons, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, he'd, be drilling that into people, too. And then we'd throw in more cameos. We'd have Jack Ryder, who's also the Creeper. And he has, like, Jack Ryder is basically an Alex Jones. And he has this thing of like, if you think you've been safe with Superman around, you are wrong. Because in some of the games, like his catchphrase is "you are wrong."
Yeah,
and that's like his like when he's on a billboard, it's like Jack Ryder, "You are wrong." Like if you think that.
Okay, can we actually get Alex Jones to play this guy? Because I think he will, if you ask him to.
I was thinking about that. I don't want to give him the credit, but he would kind of fit. But our friend, our good friend Brett is kind of a fan of the Creeper. Like I'll make fun of the Creeper, but Brett digs him, so I don't want to do that to the Creeper or Brett.
You want to undermine him by
maybe he's played by a different
Alex
actor
Jones.
completely.
Yeah,
because he couldn't be. Alex Jones can't be the Creeper. He could be Jack Ryder though. He shows up in the Arkham games too.
Oh, okay.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So like,
forgot about that.
Superman's kind of confused, and maybe he won't like turn himself in just yet, because he has to figure out what happened. Because Metallo is in a metal body. He's not a human. And why did this happen? So he's going to like, maybe he'll try and figure it out. Maybe he'll like hang out for Solitude or just go back to work as Clark Kent. And like maybe just he's going to maybe reporter, detective this out and see what he can do.
Yeah.
Without, going to jail. But like in this world, more of the DC universe exists. Because it'll be more fun that way.
Yeah. More opportunities to do whatever.
And so like we'll have his cousin, his alternate world cousin Power Girl show up.
Right.
And she'll bring like Captain Atom with him because Captain Atom's from the military. He works for military. He's actually a captain. And they'd be like, Superman, it's time to go to jail. But like, since they have this relationship, like Power Girl would like encounter Clark and be like, hey, can we go somewhere and talk?
Yeah. And
this way you could put it in your movie fight with the two of them. But it wouldn't be like a real danger fight because they're all heroes. So they wouldn't destroy buildings and knock down a city doing that.
Yeah, they'll find like a nice like open field or something.
Right.
It's like Goku.
Yeah. But they also like wouldn't be bloodthirsty to battle each other at the same time. It's like, well, we have to arrest you. And he's like, I don't want to be arrested. And like, what would occur from that? But they'd also try and reason it out. And it's kind of thing of like, I know you didn't do it, but you have to come with me. Because he still has their trust.
Right.
People still trust him to do the right thing, and they know it probably wasn't his fault, but they have to figure it out. And it's like, you can't just run around. Would be the situation. And like with it being Power Girl, she has this weird relationship that like the common public won't know about, because she's his cousin, but in a different Earth.
Yeah.
She's from like Earth 5 or something.
In the formal sense.
Yeah.
Sense of the word.
Because Supergirl won't be around.
Right.
In my story.
Okay. Fuck Supergirl.
Well, she may have died somehow.
Okay.
Because maybe Superman hesitated. Batman can't help and be a detective because he's busy dealing with LexCorp battlesuits in his city.
Right.
Huh? So I planted that there. You're welcome. and maybe the military will talk to Amanda Waller and be like, "Yo, so your Suicide Squad," and Lex will be like, "We've got this. We're fine," and shut that down.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
But in this reasoning and this talking out of like, well, why did Superman do this? Why did he just kill a guy? We could throw in some flashbacks of Superman fighting other like powerful enemies, fighting Metallo when Metallo's in his metal form, when he's got his he might be different sizes sometimes, because like he has a couple different histories because the DC universe is like rebooted a few times.
A few.
And so, and like one of my favorite versions is like he has a kryptonite heart, but it also like is like he makes a kryptonite laser blast out of his chest.
Yeah.
So it's like you're fighting a guy who's metal and is kind of impervious, but also is really super strong.
Which justifies you using that excessive force.
And at the same time, he has a laser built into him, which is pretty much can kill only you.
Yeah.
If you have, it's your biggest weakness, and it's one of his primary offenses besides punching you, is kryptonite blasting you.
Right.
And like, you know, there's been times where he's like pretty much almost beaten. Metallo's almost beaten Superman, but like you get thrown a scene of like some batterings appearing in Metallo's chest and exploding, and then the grappling gun like yanks the kryptonite out of it.
Yeah.
Which then Batman keeps, by the way. It's not a piece of kryptonite. Just, you know, he's planning for just
Chekhov's gun. Okay, yeah.
But like sometimes Superman would need help to defeat Metallo, or he'd have to outsmart him somehow.
Right.
And like that's why he wouldn't hesitate, which is when Lex Luthor was saying Batman hesitated in defeating Joker. Superman knows he can't hesitate. Lois and Jimmy are right there.
Yeah.
And that's why he makes that decision. And Batman would be grilling him too. Be like, Clark, why didn't you x-ray his bones? He doesn't have bones, he has metal body. You can tell?
Kind of an oversight.
You just made him sound like Rick. Come on, Superman. Use your x-ray. It's fine.
Why didn't you x-ray?
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
Because I didn't want to hesitate, Batty. I'm sorry, Bruce. If I hesitated, it would have killed Jimmy. But like, you know, Luthor would have put that worm into his head. And so then he'd be doubting himself. He'd be more self-reflective. And things like that. Let's see. And so from there, you'd be dealing with, well, is he still a Boy Scout? He can't be the Boy Scout anymore. If like he did this to him, he tried to weld a metal plate onto a human's chest.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
And like he was trusted in these bright colors and he smiles because the Kents actually taught him well. And these are all the things that should make a real Superman.
Yeah.
Not Pa Kent being like, maybe let the busload of kids die.
I saved the farm, but I killed the horses. I hear the screaming of the horses, Clark.
But like, to an extent, at some point, Superman will have to give up because he'd be a wanted criminal. And all the good that he's done will only get him so far in like getting a pass or getting leniency or getting immunity. It's like, you can't kill people.
So doing the right thing means like giving himself up.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, one of the important things about Superman that people forget is the people around him. He trusts his parents, the Kents.
Yeah.
And you could actually make Lois and Jimmy useful because they're reporters.
Nah, just kill him in like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
So Lois and Jimmy would do reporting, and they would investigate what happens because that's what their job is.
Yeah.
And that's how, because if he can't do it himself, then he has people to rely on. he turned to maybe some Justice League for help. Even Power Girl and Captain Atom, they don't want to fight him, but they would want to help him find a solution.
Right. So they would assist Lois and Jimmy.
You know, because like imagine like Lois like sneaking into LexCorp to go inspect something, and then some bad guy showing up and like she tries to hit her, because like in a movie aspect, a good scene would be Jimmy and Lois investigating and getting in trouble,
right,
and him using his signal watch. But like Superman's in jail, and like even if they don't coat the cell with lead, the Superman could hear the signal and be like, "Do I go rescue Jimmy?
Yeah.
Do I go rescue Lois? I'll be breaking out of jail now and make it even worse." And then like you know, how many rules does he follow? Does he stay in jail? Does he have to go rescue his friends? Luckily, Power Girl shows up and rescues him. She's like, "Yo, cuz told me to check up on you."
Spoilers, man.
Just ruin it for everybody.
But it's like, you know, introducing other characters from the DC universe. We'd have Lois have a really secret contact. The Question would show up with some files.
Nice.
And the Question would be like, "Oh, I investigated. I talked to some other villains." Luthor drove them out of town. Him and some battle suits came down, and like a hologram of Lex was like, "Hey, leave town. A thing's gonna happen, and if anyone else is nearby, Superman's not gonna trust what happened." Like, imagine if a mind control person was like in a couple buildings over. Yeah. Superman's like, "Oh, a mind control person made me think this was Corbin, or it's there. They did." So Luthor's like, "We have to clear Metropolis. All villains just get out. Just we're gonna clear it," and like he makes it happen. But Question figures it out, and that's why he gets a Lois. And Lois is trying to break the case, and then we would go to movie 2.
Okay.
But the concept of like, you can't just rely on the one powered guy. He, no matter what, he still needs friends.
Yeah.
Because he has to have faith in other people for people to trust him.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah. And like, but it would really focus on like, he doesn't murder. This is a heinous thing, and like no one believes he did it, and they, you know, it's like questioning your faith in God.
Yeah.
You know?
Some people, you just can't shake that.
Yeah.
That would be.
That's my movie.
That would be a good movie.
I
would definitely see that.
I can't wait for it to smash box office records, and then an entire universe will be built upon.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be pretty great, and then I could just ride your coattails.
Now, my only question is like,
yeah,
because you're kind of like throwing in that Suicide Squad reference,
right?
And like just kind of brushing it aside. Does that mean that you would include Jared Leto's Joker?
No. No.
I'm just checking.
We'd have a better Joker by then.
So,
yeah.
What does this say about it? Because I've made my opinions of Suicide Squad. I don't know if I've ever voiced them directly on this show. I can't remember. I can't recall. In my opinion, my humble opinion, Suicide Squad is the worst superhero movie I've ever seen.
Ooh.
The worst.
In my opinion.
Huh.
I did not like it. And in that really bad superhero movie, the best part for me of the really bad superhero movie was Jared Leto's Joker, which was also in turn very bad. Like, what does that say? You know, like about I'm hijacking, and I apologize, but
okay. I just talked for at least 20 minutes straight. So
well, you were pitching your movie, and now I'm going to steal your idea, and I'm going to give it to
Don't give it to Zack Snyder. Joss Whedon could take it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I mean, even then, like, I'm okay with Snyder. I guess like he gets my perpetual pass.
You also didn't see Man of Steel.
I did not see Man of Steel, but I did see Dawn of the Dead.
One of my complaints.
He gets like a perpetual pass from me because Dawn of the Dead is just so rad.
One of my biggest problems was that Batman vs Superman made me hate Man of Steel even more.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Made me more angry.
Yeah. I had never and I dug Watchmen. I actually did my whole the YouTube hopping on Watchmen clips just a couple nights, and it made me pick up the book, and I was reading through the book. Yeah, I dug Watchmen. What else is he? He did
300.
300 again. I like 300. Like, and again, I mean, I've alluded to being small-minded many times in this show. It's not very hard to entertain me.
Well, So he was pretty on board with Watchmen.
Yeah.
And like 300, there's not all that much interpretation to go about, but like one of comic book fans' biggest complaints is he doesn't understand Superman.
Right. Which it can be hard to make, like, although understanding Superman and making Superman entertaining is different.
Well, like we were just, we had two different directions of how Jared was talking about, putting your own morality into the character or separating yourself from the character. So right there is like, it can be a pretty big conundrum.
I think a lot of it was just like I think that a lot of Man of Steel was also a response to the Brandon Routh version because it was very gentle. Like he didn't actually fight anybody the whole movie.
He fought a rock.
Yeah. He picked up a rock.
he picked up stuff.
Oh, he got shot in the eyeball, I guess. Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, that was really cool.
Like he didn't actually. It was pretty damn cool. And I do like. I think Spacey's Lex is probably my favorite.
I just dig Spacey.
Yeah.
Although you always see those lists on the websites that you never really want to click on because like is that going to hit me with malware? It's like top 10 actors who treat their co-stars like shit, and it's typically always a picture of Kevin Spacey. He's good at acting.
But my movie idea would be like mid-career. He's established.
No
origin
story.
No, because like we don't.
I thought you were talking about your career. Like you've already had, like your breakthrough, and then you did your artsy film.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
you got
totally
nominated for a Golden Globe, but didn't quite get it.
I worked in Troma Films, and now I made my own blockbuster.
We should all be so lucky.
Because that takes up so much time of the movie. From my perspective, if I want to know about something that I figure out is established, I'll just go look it up.
Yeah.
Because that takes so much time. Like I don't want to watch Luther learn. I want Luther to already know everything. Like I don't need him to experiment, but I need him to try out some plans. So it's like, what are kryptonite? What do kryptonite affect?
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to watch that. No. He knows kryptonite does a thing.
If there's any like superhero that's like reached like that level of like saturation in the culture, it's Superman or Batman. Like everyone knows. Like,
have we shown you the master cut of the Wayne's dying?
I think I've seen it.
There's like a 9-screen, like a 9-window screen of like all of them pretty much sequentially matched up in time of the Wayne's dying from different animated from the different live actions. Just
But yeah, you don't need that. Like everyone knows the story. Everyone knows Krypton blew up. Everyone knows he was raised on a farm.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
We know Luthor's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's cool to see Russell Crowe in space, but it didn't like. But like, I think people get where he came from, and even then, like you would have like flashbacks to time on the farm.
And like one of the things I was explaining, I wasn't explaining. We were talking pre-show before you got here with Jared, and I was saying like when a trailer for Spider-Man: Homecoming comes out, the next day, within hours, there'll be BuzzFeed or Looper or like here's the Easter eggs in the trailer, and here's what they mean, and here's who it represents, and like and then when the whole movie comes out, again, it's like here's characters you didn't know, and that here's Captain Adam's background, and like the videos pop up, someone shares it on Facebook, it gets shared 1,000 more times, and like if you're kind of into the genre, if you're kind of into the scene, you're gonna find it and you'll see it. It'll be explained. So like you don't need to spend millions of dollars on a movie production of like here's Power Girl's background because they'll find it.
You don't need to see like, I mean, Civil War. Uncle Ben was already dead, and we're still fine with it.
Yeah.
Like he's Spider-Man.
I'm glad.
Is Uncle Ben even mentioned in Civil War?
No.
I don't think he even says the line.
With great power.
Yeah. No, he paraphrases.
It's paraphrased. Yeah. Yeah. If I couldn't do it then, I can't do it now, and I should. But I have this, so I should do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Even for like lesser known characters, like
a very roundabout way of saying with great power.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of lesser known characters you don't have to like spend like the whole first act of the movie talking about how they're made. Like Like in Civil War, like Black Panther, he's a king.
Hmm?
He's a king. Father dies. Now he's
New
in a cat
king.
suit.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Things I forgot to add. Captain Atom would be played by Nicholas Stokes from CSI. And
George Egatz,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
because he did the voice in the cartoon,
Yeah.
and then he would do the mocap for it too,
Okay.
so we could have the same voice for that.
Who would you cast as Superman himself?
I don't know yet. I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
I don't pay that much. I don't watch enough media to be good at knowing who actors are.
Okay.
So when someone's like, "Who would you have play Venom?" I'm like, I don't know who's out right now. And the person
Tom Hardy.
the person I pick is like now 20 years in the past.
Right.
They're too old for that. He can't play Spider-Man. He's like 50 now, and I was like, that's who I would have picked 30 years ago.
Oops, they doodle. Toby's still good, right?
What else did I? Oh, I would have had Mercy be in it too.
Okay.
Like Mercy actually be a cool character. Jesus.
You're mixing your universes here, Alex.
No, not Mercy from Overwatch, who heals everyone. Her servants never die.
For a price.
Classically, Mercy's been Luthor's bodyguard. Ronda Rousey would be in like her driver's suit.
Yeah. As Power Girl?
No, she's Mercy.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't have her as
Power Girl?
I mean, she could probably pull off Power Girl, but like then there's the whole Captain Marvel thing, where she'd be like the perfect Carol. Oh, does
could
that
be.
exist in this universe?
They're different.
Carol Danvers.
That's Marvel.
That's Marvel, yeah.
Right, we are talking about Marvel. I'm a fucking idiot.
It's okay.
We're talking about Superman's in DC.
Yo, both DC and Marvel both have the Captain Marvel. It's okay.
It's true.
It gets
It's
confusing.
true.
Yeah. I'm not going to fault anyone for that mistake.
So Ronda Rousey as
Mercy, Luthor's bodyguard.
Mary Marvel. Oh,
That would be good.
Nice save.
right,
Nice save.
right.
Not
See what I
bad.
did there?
Not
That's what I was
bad.
talking about the whole time. I was just testing you guys.
I would want an actual brunette for that.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, not that, I don't know. People could change hair color. You know what? I hadn't even got to the Marvel family.
So anyways, Mercy.
Because at some point, Superman's going to blame Luthor. And he's going to go get him. If not in part 1, then in part 2.
Yeah.
He's like, Luthor's responsible. And he's going to break in. And that's like, he's going to go get in his battle suit. His purple and green Lex suit.
Right.
Because from having his soldiers, he's made a super one for himself. But he's going to need time to get there. And Superman's walking in. And Mercy's like, I got this. It's like, what's Mercy going to do with Superman? Because, like, she could, like, put up a fight with Batman for a little while. I mean, she can't outfight him, but she could stall him for a bit. But, like, with Luthor having his enterprises, making all this stuff, and making super weapons, and being an arms dealer, and doing all this weapons to stop Superman, like, Mercy could, like, put in an order herself and be like, hey, lab, can you put some of this together? And she would have, like, a small suit for herself. Not like a suit, but like gauntlets.
Yeah.
Like
Kryptonite knuckles or something.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Because like real kryptonite is kind of rare to come by. So Luthor's been trying to like make artificial kryptonite, like synthetic kryptonite, synthenite. I don't know. It's me the copyright.
Yeah. Fool's kryptonite. Yeah.
Good. But like it would just be in powder form, right? So like knuckles, elbows, knees, feet, whatever she could actually strike with.
Yeah.
And so, like, when Superman enters the room, she'd, like, start trying to punch him, which he's not really going to dodge because he's Superman. You shoot him with a bullet. Does he move out of the way? No, yeah. He's like, it's going to bounce off me. Right. But, like, every time you punch someone with, like, you go to the beach, you get sand everywhere, right? And like, 2 days later, you find sand wherever.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really come up. So, like, these particles are going to stick to him, make him weaker.
Oh, okay.
And, like, maybe slow him down. And she's going to attack, like, pressure points or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, she's still punching a brick wall. It's not going to have too much of an effect.
Like a fox.
But I feel like she could slow him down a little bit and give Luthor enough time to get to his suit.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be an interesting thing because, like, so often Superman's a god character and regular humans just don't matter. You swat him out of the way.
Yeah.
And this would be the chance to make Mercy a badass. She'd give it a shot because that's her job. She's doing her job. She protects Luthor. She might die. She's fighting a killer now, by the way.
Right.
But I think you could make that a cool scene.
That would be sweet.
If she like puts him in an arm bars and like, because like she won't be able to manipulate him because he's too strong. But like if she wraps an arm and like starts elbowing certain points with her kryptonite coated elbows,
She could make him flinch at least. Yeah.
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 She punts him in the vein just right. Maybe she'll cut off her super kryptonite blood flow to that extremity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm making
I think you're onto
like,
something.
People are hearing this and they're like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And like,
But like, if you stage that right, that would be so badass. Yeah.
right? And I think Raz would be great for it.
She would.
As long as she like doesn't emote for the entire film up to that point.
Right.
Because that's Mercy's thing.
Just the silent.
Oh yeah,
Just the silent
you just
bodyguard.
know she's dangerous.
Right.
Because like Mercy and Batman and Superman, she looked pretty cool. She looked as like some people listening, they're like, Mercy was in Batman and Superman.
Right.
Did you know she was in it? Exactly.
Well, there you go.
She was the Asian chick with the really high heels.
Mm.
She got exploded in the courtroom,
Yep.
and that's the last we saw of her.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, Zach.
She was just a secretary who got dead.
Yeah.
Superman, Lex wouldn't
But
blow up his own secretary, would he?
You can,
He did.
you can bring her back, like not like anyone knew.
Yeah, exactly.
was, yeah.
Exactly.
You could bring Jimmy Olsen back at this point. Yeah.
And if Mercy does get hurt real bad, Luthor can hire Hope, because that's his other security agent.
Right.
Okay.
I know Hope.
You know what I want to be Hope?
No, I don't know.
One of the Williams sisters,
One of the who?
Serena Williams.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Just attack him with like that.
they know better.
So now it's time to try and decipher what Alex's Superman
my morality.
pitch means about, like, what we can determine.
So what does this say about you?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to explain, or do you guys want to figure it out?
Oh, good question.
Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I wanted to include Metallo somehow, because I feel he's a very overlooked character, and I wanted Luthor to be really smart behind it.
Yeah.
Because
Smart Luther's rad Luther.
yeah, I'm a
He's
big
just the best.
I'm a big fan of villains, and to make the best hero, you have to have the best villains. And if you don't have like a worthwhile villain, the hero, you're not going to respect the hero as much.
Right.
It's like, what's this character's motivation? It's like, well, I don't know.
It made me bald.
I think we've talked about this before. I think I've asked this question to you half a dozen. What's your favorite Luthor? Like that's been written.
I've gone on a lengthy explanation about All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It specifically
The animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you? I'm gonna
I have not seen the anime.
I'm gonna loan it to you if I have it. If you haven't seen it.
Okay. I've read the book. I haven't.
Okay. So you've read.
So
All-Star
it's
Superman.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. The voice acting of at the very, I don't know who it was.
Okay.
At the very end of it, and like Superman's triumphing like Superman does, and him and Luthor are talking. I was bawling like a child. I
Yeah.
was like weeping. It affected me so much.
Lex Luthor was voiced by Anthony Pagila, Pagila.
Oh, he does. Usually, I think he usually does mob movies. What else was he?
He was in Without a Trace,
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something
Latanya, Empire Records. Looks like he does a lot of TV.
different. Yeah, it seems that way.
Anyways,
Oh, I'm thinking of someone different then. Oops. Christina Hendricks.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was Lois Lane.
Ah. And then when Joe Sherry mentioned Superman talking a girl off a ledge,
Yes.
I wouldn't want to use that, because that's not my story. That's Grant Morrison's.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could use something in that spirit, if not that exact thing. It's like,
I feel like that would be getting trust back afterwards.
yeah, that could be like almost like a postscript sort of thing, where
Yeah.
like after everything is done, it's like, oh, excuse me, just gotta go, and then like that'll be like the end scene.
Mm-hmm.
would you say it's one of the more iconic moments in recent
Oh, yeah.
Superman history?
Yeah.
I see that on.
Well, that's one
all
that
the
gets
time.
shared on Tumblr and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the difference between like Batman vs Superman or Man of Steel Superman, where like he just like shreds through her. Have you seen that? like while fighting.
And then, by the way, so part 2, Metallo comes back.
Alex, we're at an hour and 15 minutes.
Metallo comes back in his metal body, and he's really pissed.
Oh, what the?
Because Superman killed him. And like the Superman, does he hold back now because he doesn't want to kill him again?
Yeah. Okay. So now, yeah.
Because in the animated series, he didn't want his rubber body because he couldn't feel anymore. He didn't have feeling. He didn't have smell. He didn't have taste. He wasn't a person. He hated being a robot. Hated it. And all he wanted to be was to be a human again. And so he'd be given the opportunity to be a human, and Superman took it away, which would like reinvigorate his hatred for Superman.
That would be good. That would be very good.
And then, no.
Who has super hearing and super taste and super smell.
He has all the things he wants,
but better.
In the best way. He just wants a basic version of it. Whereas this guy is just like, whatever, I got the best
factory
version
model.
of it. Yeah. Yep.
Just want to eat a cake.
And taste it.
Can I have a person off the assembly line? Just a human assembly line bottom? No bells and whistles. Just, if I can't whistle.
Just give me the base model. Yeah.
I don't want to live if I can't whistle, though. I can't whistle. That's a joke. Never mind.
Really?
I'm really... It's not good.
It's cool. We don't need to discuss this. Well, it seems like it may... That's something that in the 11 years I've known you, I did not know. Maybe that's why you didn't like Last of Us. Because Ellie learns to whistle.
That was she was super annoying.
Good Lord. Fucking blasphemy.
But
anyways.
Everyone does have a very strong opinion of what Superman should be.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You just it just brings that out of people.
Yeah. Because let's see. Another 10 or between 10 and 20 years, Superman will be like 100 years old.
Yeah, 30, 39, right?
Yeah. I mean, Metallo's only like 70 years old, so
right.
He was made in the 50s.
Yeah,
59. His first version.
Lex was probably like 2 or 3 years into his run, right?
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Action Comics #1, June 1938.
38.
Good Lord.
We're currently in 2017.
So he'll be 80 next year.
Ooh.
Wait.
He's old.
But we have a new Superman movie coming out this year.
No, we don't.
Well, we have Justice League.
He's not even...
He's dead or whatever.
He's in 0 promotional pictures for that. Obviously, he won't be in it.
No, certainly not. Not at all.
The main bad guy is going to be Steppenwolf. We all know who Steppenwolf is, right?
Everyone's favorite.
Steppenwolf.
I read DC and I don't even know who Steppenwolf is.
That's one of Darkseid's generals, apparently. We don't get Calabac or Mother Mercy. We get Steppenwolf.
Well, on that note,
perhaps there's a reason behind it. I don't know. Because we'll have to see when it comes out.
I guess. They can kill him and not worry about it now.
Maybe. I don't know.
In New 52, JSA, it's on Earth 2 actually. Instead of Darkseid invading, it was Steppenwolf.
Oh, okay.
And they stopped Steppenwolf. But like in that universe, like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman all died.
Well, I don't think they're gonna. Well, they've been teasing out Darkseid for a while now.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll be like the what do you got, sub boss.
This is like Thanos sending Ronan, except some of us know who Ronan is. People that read Space Marvel know who Ronan is.
It could be like a running joke in the movie. It's like, behold, Steppenwolf.
Who?
Like Jimon Hansu just kind of like leans into the screen. Who?
we might know like a particular parademon's name, but not Steppenwolf. What you doing?
Don't worry about it. Sorry, I got derailed there real hard. Steppenwolf, we were talking about?
Not anymore. We're done. With
Now we're past that.
So, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tough one. I don't have a pitch. Don't expect a pitch out of me.
What's your pitch?
My pitch would be read All-Star Superman. or just watch Death and Return of Superman on YouTube.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you not like him?
Oh wait, are we talking about the?
We are talking about Max Landis.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jared's not a fan of Max Landis.
yeah,
Have you watched that though?
I have.
Okay.
I saw his Man of Steel pitch too. That was.
I watched
I shut it off 2 minutes in.
I watched
didn't
the
watch
entire. I think it was like 45 minutes long. I enjoyed it. I'm hot and cold with Max Landis because like 1 minute I'll be like, this man is brilliant.
Uh-huh.
When I see something like Death and Return of Superman, I'm like, okay, and like he'll tweet something and be like, fuck, I like that. And then 2 minutes later he'll tweet something and be like, fuck Max Landis. You know, it's just it's tough for me. It's like a love-hate relationship.
I respect his work ethic. Like I respect anyone who can like make that many scripts in a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah, fuck you, man.
And that's that.
Yo, man, what's your problem with Chris Hardwick? I don't get it.
Does he not like Chris Hardwick?
Yeah, he was tweeting about him, calling him like a fake geek and a jerk.
Oh yeah, calling him like, oh yeah, and what a nerd. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, he talks about Walking Dead. What a nerd. Essentially,
Yeah.
just kind of nerd. You know, like, okay, so you're nerd creds. What? Anyways, that's a conversation for a whole nother
Yeah.
time.
I checked out of all things Max Landis after he started like bitching about Mary Sue's and Star Wars and everything.
Right, with Ray being a Mary Sue.
Yeah, dude's like,
That's about the time when I unfollowed on Twitter and all that. Because like, it wasn't because it was just like I disagreed with him or anything like that. It was just I got tired of seeing it every day, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to read about this again.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's cool. You got your opinion on Star Wars. Everyone has their opinion on the new Star Wars. Like, I get where people are like, it's just a shot for shot remake of the original Star Wars because it has very, very similar plot points.
yes.
I don't really give a shit though.
It was deliberately made destructed.
Right? Yeah, like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I still really enjoyed it. I was planning on probably watching it this weekend.
There were some fan winks that kind of made me roll my eyes a bit, but those are nitpicks.
Yeah.
Like, the whole
Mhm.
overall,
It doesn't
I really
ruin
enjoyed
it. Does I'm not gonna blow up my my Twitter feed. Whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
again, that's
That's
for another time. We're a little over. Do we have any final thoughts? Superman,
What's your thoughts on Zabaro?
Zabaro,
Subaru.
like the pizza place.
All-Star Superman went to Bizarro World, where the Bizarro was Zabaro,
Okay.
and he was into.
Gut reaction is I don't like that. I don't like what you just said.
There's a planet of Bizarros, and to have a backwards Bizarro made a Zabaro.
I feel like your brains would melt out of your ears trying to listen to them speak
He
and
was
decipher what they're
He was
saying.
really into poetry.
This feels like like language fractals here. But
They've evolved beyond our puny.
Okay, we'll skip him for now.
He'll be for the third movie.
Come back to him. Oh, he's not going anywhere. He's staying in those pages.
All right. Jared, thanks for coming on.
yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
glad to be here.
It's always a pleasure.
And to those listening, I would recommend bringing this up and see where the conversation leads. It's always fascinating.
You know what I also recommend?
What's that?
Checking out Jared and his work on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and find it. You can find pirated copies of his free-to-view films.
You know how many times I've had to like contact websites and say like, "This shit's for free.
You can
You
go
don't need
here.
to pirate it, you assholes, cleft assholes."
And view Jared's works. One of them has a character name with a just a beautiful name in it, just a gorgeous name. But
That would be Girl in the Basement.
yes, of course.
Look us up on skolnickfilms.com. You can see that one. That one you have to rent, but everything else I've made is for free, including The Answer, which happens
Brilliant,
to
just
have a
brilliant,
performance by one of the people here on the podcast.
That's right.
just a brilliant, like,
And a recurring guest.
This is true.
It's true.
Co-host
Yeah.
person.
It's the, like the description, it's the age-old question,
Yeah.
and we finally have the answer to it.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Go check out Jared's work. It's a lot of fun. It's both fun and also it's equal parts fun, a little bit of terrifying. Like it's just all mixed. It's good stuff. Skolnickfilms.com.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Skolnickfilms.com. Go check out that and have discussions with your friends about Superman
Yeah.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even record them and put them on the internet,
Sounds good to me.
and then do it again the following week
Then do it consecutively.
for
Over and
271
over.
weeks. So until next week, I've been JR.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jared.
And this has been episode 271. There it is, of opinion on the new laptop. It's new beginnings.
There's a hum missing in this episode.
Yeah, there's a
Did
hum, there's a
you
whir.
notice?
I'm not like trying to block my mic or pull it away from my computer
It's
or
a
like
terrifying silence.
or muting my yeah, it kind of is. Like my laptop isn't propped up on anything trying desperately to circulate air to it.
If you hear a hum next week, it's because it got hot out. My air conditioner's running. So
It's going to be
That
AC
was-
season soon, so
apologies.
but it's also going to be
Or I'm just blowing into the mic.
that too. Yeah. Other things you can listen for soon. Oh, I'm hitting toward it again. I'm doing it again. I'm not even going to say what it is, but if you've been paying attention on our social media, I've actually been dropping even harder hints toward it.
I saw that.
Yeah. I even got a sneak peek of it last night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's been episode 271 of Opinions May Vary.